That's why I got these stars. This is my own moral compass.
Yeah, what do they stand for?
They stand for I make my own morals.
Okay.
Like, nobody tells me what's right, what is right and wrong. That's kind of what I rebelled against. I don't really care about breaking the law because a law is a rule that's been written by law enforcement or a government that says I can't do something.
On November 4th, 2023, police in Lone Tree, Colorado were dispatched to the parking lot of the at-home store after multiple 911 callers reported a suspicious vehicle. One caller described seeing a man inside a light blue SUV with blood on his face and shattered windows. But with Halloween just days earlier, they weren't sure if it was a gruesome prank or something real. Officers arrived within minutes, which was captured on the following body cam.
Pretty also on scene. Oh shit. Oh shit. Did he shoot himself?
You see a gun inside?
Mike 40, obvious code Adam. I don't see a gun, Travis.
Okay. Let's get back.
Travis, I don't see a gun.
Okay.
Mike 40, copy the plate. And if I could get a supervisor to give me a call. Travis, you need help? Here, I got it.
The officers on scene didn't find a weapon in or around the vehicle, and the pattern of blood, the shattered glass, and the angle of the gunshot made one thing clear. This wasn't a suicide. This was a homicide, and whoever did it had already vanished. The victim was identified as 71-year-old Michael Lohmeyer, a quiet man with no known enemies. He was found slumped in the driver's seat of his Toyota Highlander, cigarette in his lap, keys still in the ignition. The autopsy would later confirm 2 gunshot wounds to the head, one of them fatal. There were no signs of a struggle and no indication that he ever saw it coming. With no surveillance from the store and no weapon left behind, detectives had little to go on. Until footage from a nearby Home Depot captured a gray Ford F-150 speeding out of the parking lot just minutes before Lohmeyer's body was discovered. The vehicle's features stood out, but the license plate was unreadable. For weeks, the case stalled. Until nearly 1,000 miles away in Wyoming, police got a hit on a stolen iPad with a live tracker. It had been taken during a separate string of vehicle break-ins. Officers traced the signal to a truck matching the same make and model seen in the Colorado surveillance footage. The driver was James Matthew Neal Jr., a convicted felon with a violent criminal history. After a brief pursuit, Neal was taken into custody. Back in Colorado, investigators quickly connected him to the Lone Tree homicide. Neal was brought in for an interview, which was captured on the following body cam.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, James, I'm Corporal Roki at Lone Tree. This is Sergeant Steve, also at Lone Tree. How are things going for you? Okay. So
That's yours if you want it.
yeah, that's the one. So why we're here today is kind of to talk to you about a crime that that occurred in Lone Tree that you might have some knowledge of. Okay. Tell us a little about yourself, if you can, if you want. Whatever you want to. Okay. Are you originally from Colorado? No? Where are you originally from?
Georgia.
Georgia? How long you lived there?
3 years.
3 years? What about you out to Colorado?
Family.
So about 3 or 4 we moved to Colorado?
It's about 10.
About 10? Okay. You still got any family in Georgia? I got some family in Georgia too. You ever go back and visit?
Not recently. Sometime, I guess like when I was 17.
What I remember about Georgia is the pollen. Like pollen comes down and just coats everything yellow. I was there for about a year and a half. So, what is some of your background? You've obviously been kind of a little bit of trouble in the past, but what's kind of brought you that way?
It's just life's brought me where it has. It's followed my path.
The struggle follows you?
I wouldn't say it follows me. Just whatever happens to me and happens in front of me, happens in front of me. I'm just here for the experience, you know?
Yeah. Kind of a YOLO kind of life?
I mean, not a YOLO, but like, came here to learn
Oh, what?
what life has to offer, life's lessons.
I can understand that. Life can present all kinds of lessons in different ways. You know, it's all one big lesson. We probably never really figured it all out. You spent some time in DOC. How long was that?
I've done 10 months and then I did 3 years.
Okay. How'd that go?
It's okay.
It was okay. Did you have any trouble in prison? No. What'd you go to prison for?
Menacing and second-degree assault.
Was that justified, or like was the sentence? I guess what I'm trying to say is that's something you did.
I pled guilty to it.
I'm sorry to go through the prison system, man. That's not a fun time.
That's definitely not fun.
No.
It is what it is.
How's your relationship with your family?
Strained.
Strained. Why is that?
I just don't like who I've become or how I act, really.
Do you think that's on them or that's on you?
Me, I guess.
I think families can be tough sometimes, man. You know, you want to be who you are and you want to live the life you want to live, and sometimes family doesn't like that. They don't see eye to eye with what your goals and aspirations are. You know. What's on your mind, James? You seem like you got something on your mind.
I was watching a movie,
What movie?
Alien Resurrection.
Alien Resurrection. What do you think of that one?
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I think the original Alien is probably the best, in my opinion. You been watching the Alien vs. Predator ones?
Yeah.
Those are good. I like those. Those are like throwbacks. You're pretty good. Are we interrupting your movie?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Hey, we had to come out and talk to you. Okay. How's your relation with your mom?
It's strained.
Yeah.
Just definitely not happy with how I turned out.
Yeah. I can see how that probably doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Okay. How so? Do you think you've turned out the best way you could?
Definitely
Yeah, James, I gotta tell you, I don't think you're a bad guy. Okay, I think people make mistakes, and we sometimes we just choose a path that's not very beneficial. Okay, doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means mistakes are. Okay. What about your relationship with your brother, Russ? I've talked with him a little bit. He said that you guys are probably the closest.
Definitely the closest.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, he's always got my back.
He loves you guys.
Always have his.
I can definitely tell he loves you. When was the last time we talked to him?
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
Months maybe.
Does that bother you?
Yeah.
He's your go-to guy?
Yeah.
James, I want to ask you some questions about an incident that occurred in Lone Tree, like I said. Okay? Before I ask you those questions, though, I need to read you your rights. Would you be willing to talk to me about the incident that occurred in Lone Tree?
I don't know what happened. I'm not sure.
Okay. If you don't know what happened in Lone Tree, I'd still like to read your rights and still talk about it freely. Is it something you're willing to do? Okay. I know that you know why we're here. I'm telling you, we have everyone's side of the story but yours. Whatever happened in Lone Tree, I think you're the only one that has the answers for that. And I'm trying to give you an opportunity to advocate for yourself and get your side of the story out there. I think you have made mistakes in the past. And I think owning them is the one true way to make it up to yourself and your family, especially your brother, who are very hurt.
What are you thinking about, James?
Thinking, probably not going to say anything about anything from here on.
Okay. I just want to let you know that there's a family that is missing their father, their brother, their loved one. And they deserve answers. Closure. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. But what occurred in Lone Tree is unexcusable.
Hey, James. I can respect where you're coming from. You don't want to talk to us. I get that. I can literally feel the tension coming off of you right now. So, I'll tell you this. If you do want to talk to us, now's a great time because we're here. But if down the road you change your mind, we'll come back. Okay? Because we want to hear your side of the story. All right? Now, without you saying anything, I'll tell you right now, we know you committed a murder. We know it. We have it on video. We tracked you from that home, around the building, up Parkville Center Drive, up around Best Buy, back over the mall, thought you walked into the mall, buy a Nike shirt from Nordstrom, walk into the mall, some point change, you bought some shoe polish, right? We know all this stuff. What we don't know is why. And what we don't know is, did you know this person? What led up to what transpired in the parking lot? Right? today's day and age, there's video, there's license plate readers. But I can tell you, like Corporal Oakley said, there are two boys who are about your age who now don't have a father who they deeply loved and are wondering why. Even if it's some crazy off the wall thing, like you met up for a drug deal, or you met up this, we just want to hear that. Or you were so high out of your mind that you don't remember what happened. I don't know. But doing something like that has to be eating at you. It's not normal to see what a bullet does to a human. We see it all the time, but average Joe citizen never sees that. So we would love to hear your side of the story. And we will give you all the opportunity in the world to talk to and listen. Or you can tell us no thank you. And if that moment ever comes up, you do want to talk to us about what happened and get that off your chest, we're here for you. 4-hour drive, but we're here for you. You know what I mean? So what do you think?
I think I need some kind of psychiatric help.
Okay.
I think that's good of you to admit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think a lot of people don't know how to admit that. So without talking specifically about the situation that we're mentioning right now, what outside that makes you believe you need psychiatric help? Like what is inside your mind?
Voices tell me to do things, trick me into doing things.
Okay.
Have you ever seen somebody for that? No.
How long has that been happening?
Since I was 14.
What grade were you in 14? Is that 7th or 8th grade?
Maybe like that.
Okay. Can I tell you something I know? I talked to your mom quite a bit, okay, and she said that a difference in you occurred around 7th, 8th grade. That kind of correlates. What were they telling you when you were in 7th, 8th grade? When you were 14?
It's always different. Sometimes they're nice, and they'll give you friends. And sometimes they're just like really, really mean to me. Or like trying to get me to think other people are thinking bad about me. I know. It's always different. They're always there.
I'm sorry you go through that. I've never experienced that, but I only can imagine that it is difficult to deal with. Does it lead you to feel like you're out of control?
Sometimes.
Do they just tell you to do something until you do it?
I don't know. It's like they make suggestions, or if I realize they're trying to trick me, tell them to go away and mess with somebody else. They'll just come back later with like a little bit more trickery. Or like a whole different approach. Maybe a different voice so that I won't recognize the same voice. It's not just one voice, it's infinite amount of voices. It could be your two voices, my voice, anybody's voice, somebody I've never met before. So it's just always, it's a constant, like a whole other world inside my mind.
I think that's difficult. So when you're 14, like how they start, what were the voices saying?
At first, they're like nice, like just wanted to get to know me, or they're just like, I don't know. It was like we would sit in a circle, or it was inside my mind, and just like exchange stories. Or in my mind, it's kind of like watching a movie, so really just like exchanging like video clips, movies in your mind. It's weird. It is cool at first, until it's not cool.
Sometimes a video clip gets weird.
Yeah, it could be anything. Anything you can imagine.
So when you were charged with, or when you pled guilty for the assault and the menacing, was that also the voices?
The assault, I did. I definitely beat that guy up.
How'd you beat him up? I didn't read that case or anything like that, but what occurred to make that happen?
But he kept calling the police on me because I wasn't technically living in the apartments that I was staying at. I was bouncing around there from apartment to apartment. And he kept calling the police on me because of it. I told him to stop. Literally, our first encounter, he pulls a golf club on me.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so I took it from him, I snapped it, and I got in his face, and I said, I was just like trying to intimidate him. I don't remember what I said exactly, but
Yeah, but he came in with a golf club.
yeah, first time ever seeing him like come at me with something. I'm gonna retaliate somehow, but I didn't touch him that time. I just snapped it and got into his face, threw it back at him, and I walked away after that. And there was like 2 other incidents where similar things would happen. He had a giant rock one time, so he was gonna smash my head with it. And then the last time, I was standing in the stairwell, and like 2 of my friends that were girls were sitting on the stairs, and I was facing them, and I could see him come down really fast, and he like kneed one of the girls, and she hit the railing, and kneed the other girl, and she hit the wall, and then he just shoulder checks me and just looks at me. It was just like, boom! I just hit him.
It was go time.
Yeah, it was like, you just hit 2 females in front of me and then shoulder checked me. No words.
And you're the one that fell for it. You're the one that went down for the assault.
Yeah.
Because he lost the fight, you think?
He was a 59-year-old man. He had no chance in the fight. Like, I was prior convicted of a violent felon, like, on the run from parole at that time. I had everything against me at that time. I didn't even try to fight it because I had everything against me. The only 2 girls that were witnesses are drug addicts.
Yep.
Like,
That's a tough world.
yeah, it's nothing that happened there could have been like saved me in that situation. So I was just like, they offered me 3 years, and I was like, okay, that's not that bad, I guess. 3 years. I did all 3 years. At that time, yeah, I definitely did. I did that.
Well, I'm sorry you've gotten out of unfair shake. I think that's obviously bullshit. Bad guy gets to wield weapons at you, from my point of view, because he lost the fight that he probably started. You did 3 years of UFC for it. I think that's not fair.
Life's not fair.
No. Truth. Or how we acted on it. That's is kind of the difference between what makes us men. So when the voices tell you to do something, like what have you done that the voices have caused you to do?
It's literally always different. It's like sometimes they've helped me help people. Like sometimes they'll lead me somewhere if I like follow their little suggestions or something, and they'll lead me to a person that needs help. Like just maybe like food or water or something, and I'll just be like, I have what they need. I'll be like, oh yeah, here. The voices will lead me to that. Then there's other times where it's like the voices will lead me into a situation where it's just like chaos and just all bad energy, all bad people. And I'm just like, oh, like always gotta be on my guard in this situation. Like, trust nobody in this whole, like, in an apartment full of like just criminals and people wielding weapons, like right out in your face. You just got to be there for whatever situation, like why ever they brought me there. No clue. It's always different. It's literally always the entire spectrum. So it's just, you can never really know when to trust them.
Well, like, you trust them because they let you help people, which gives you a good feeling.
Sometimes, yeah.
And so you learn to trust them, and then they lead you into a shitty spot. I can see that's very frustrating. So when you trust the voices, they lead you to a good thing. What's the best thing they've ever let you do?
They've helped me save somebody's life.
Thought about that.
Chick that was ODing. Yeah, she was blueberry blue.
Okay.
She just OD'd, and there was really nobody there who knew what to do to help her. I knew CPR because my mom made me learn it.
Yeah, that's good skill.
I just gave her CPR, and she took a breath, went from blue to pink, and then like red. And I was like, holy, I just saved that chick's life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I dipped out because I was on the run at that time. But yeah, that was the best thing. Really saved the chick's life.
That's awesome. That's badass. I never had that. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
The voices affect you, your relation with your family.
They affect my entire life.
Have they ever let you help your family?
My family's always kind of been better off than I am. Even my brother, he's always been in a better situation than me.
My brother's a nice guy, bro.
He's always,
I'd like an opportunity to hear your story about what happened in Lone Tree and what the voices may have made you do. So there's context. So there's your part of the story that we get to hear.
that's like a really long story. I was up for a lot of days. Mixed with the voices, mixed with the tweaking and the drugs, it gets literally insane.
If I am here till 1 o'clock in the morning hearing your story, I'm here till 1 o'clock in the morning. You deserve to have your story told. You're the only one that can tell my story and why what happened in Lone Tree happened. The only one. Your brother's worried sick about you.
I'm sure everybody is.
Yeah. Your mom loves you. Despite how you think your guys' relationship is strained, she loves you. She's cared about you the whole time. The one thing they're all asking me is why.
told me I was doing something that I clearly was not doing. They convinced me I was helping.
I want to talk about that with you. But before we get too deep in this story, it's your story, and it's very, very important. I have to redo your Miranda rights. Is that something I can do, and then we continue your story? If I could just let you talk, I would, man. Legally, I have to do this.
I want to know that I'm going to get mental help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I can do my time in the hospital.
That's possible.
I don't want a hospital. I want for sure.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't have really the ability to say for sure right now. I can tell you that I'll advocate that. I'll advocate that for you. But the only way we can advocate that is if you tell your story and get what is going on in your head out there.
The problem with it is I was on drugs, and they're just going to say it was drugs.
James, everybody is on drugs. You're not alone in that. Okay? And being on drugs, okay, doesn't make you do things that we're talking about in lone tree. There's obviously other external factors going on there. Like you said, you're having, some psychiatric issues. Isn't prefer, okay? Might be able to expose some psychiatric issues, but it sounds like these psychiatric issues have been happening since you were 14. Is that when you started doing? So, drugs are drugs, and honestly, if you self-medicate with drugs to get rid of nerves or calm them down, that's part of your story too. That's the number one thing that people do with their narcotics usage is they self-diagnose and self-medicate. Overwhelmingly so for psychiatric issues. Is that something you do? Definitely not surprised. Everything you tell me today, going forward, is your step towards getting the psychiatric help you need. I talk to people. I'm not a psychiatrist though, and nor can I guarantee that you spend time in a hospital. But if you say nothing, I can tell you, you will not see a hospital. I don't want what happened in DOC where you just took it because the world was shitting on you to be the same scenario. If you need help, now's the time to be able to get it. If there's any time to advocate for yourself, this is the time. If we do the Miranda rights, we don't even have to talk about Lone Tree for a long time. We can talk about other stuff like the voices, what they've done. But no matter what, that's going to have to get done. All right, James. Right here. Where's the next one? Okay. Say yes. Mention your okay? Okay. You have a question. You can say, can you use your question? You want to talk away question? Or doesn't question? Use that. Well, it can, but obviously here, and we do it. Obviously, later, literally the ball's in your court. Okay. So if you understand that, if you just sign down there, yeah, right there. That's all you gotta do. Tell me how the voice is a little more changed. Have they helped you do anything else that's positive?
I mean, they've been there since I was 14, so I mean, they helped me do a bunch of stuff. I wouldn't say helped. They suggested I do a bunch of things. They've been present since I was 14, so
Yeah.
that's like a chunk, some years that they've always been there.
They would just disappear for a long time?
No?
It's just like constant conversation, huh?
Or if I choose not to engage in them, they'll be gone for a couple hours at max. But then once I'm done, like, say watching a movie, I'll be fully engaged in the movie and they won't be there. Once the movie's over, it's like, they're back.
Like right now, do you hear
Once my brain, yeah.
Okay.
So once my brain starts going again, and it's not distracted with something else, they're there.
What when you start using to kind of treat it, or if you started doing it for treating it?
I didn't start with it for treatment, but I found out that doing it opens up kind of a more steady connection to being able to talk to them. Like it opens the up more freely for me to talk to them. Because I wanted to understand what they were. So I kind of went, instead of trying to push them away, I tried to was like figure out what they were and who they are, if they are people or if they're just me or if they're what they are. So I kind of went the opposite way of what other people might. Instead of drowning them out, I tried to open them up. And I mean, I've gotten some answers, but it kind of screwed me more than it helped.
I think that's a natural thing to do, is to try and understand what's going on, right? So if you didn't do anything, they'd be there regardless. So why not try to embrace it and explore the full potential of it? Is that accurate? Yeah.
Just like give them more freedom and more ground to play on.
So there's more, they're more able to suggest you do things?
Yeah.
Okay. That's dangerous.
Yeah. But it always comes with pros and cons. Like, sometimes they'll warn me about things that can happen before they actually happen. It's literally happened countless times. Like, endless times where they've been like, for just example, like, hey, the police are coming for you right now. Then I'll start up my car. There'll be 2 SWAT cars coming right behind me.
No shit.
Like they were right again. But then there'll be some times where, like, they're just being dicks, like trying to freak me out. And I'll be like, oh, they're coming for you right now. They're coming for you. And then I'll just be like always on alert, like trying to
get you
trip
paranoid.
Yeah. But it's like a different feeling sometimes. It's like when they're right and they're like trying to warn me, it's like it hits deeper, like hey.
It's like they care for you.
Yeah, like they actually care. Like literally like so a couple hours before I got arrested, I was sitting in the parking lot. And I was like organizing the car I was in. And then there was like 2 trucks also there. They had pulled up after me and like, I don't know, I just kept kind of weird about them. But I was just like, every once in a while I'll peek over, see what they're doing. They're like probably like 100 yards away. Like, felt like they were watching me, but I always feel like that when I'm tweaking. So kind of just like, oh well, if they are watching me. Then one of them pulled up on me. He was like, kind of looking in the car. And he was in a truck, so he could see like everything I had. So I was like, I had my pipe out, my drugs out everywhere. I was like, God damn it. But
Is he the one that called?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But like right after he had left, one of them told me, it was like, oh, that was all bad. You need to get a move on. You need to start moving. I was like, oh, that one was really real. Like that one felt different. So I kept going. got on the highway, kept going, but I started to fall asleep because I was coming down. So put in a rest area, loaded up the bubble, and then I started to look around, and it was just happening again. I could just feel like they were following me, like they were actually like watching me, and I was just like, oh, I'm about to get hit. Got on the highway again before I even hit it, because it was like a this, they're like on my ass type of thing.
Is it the voices?
It was the voices, and I think the law enforcement they were actually watching me, because so what I was doing, I was like stealing out of cars, obviously, like that's how I was eating, getting around, feeding myself, stealing out of cars, little like petty crime, just whatever. But I guess
Appreciate you being candid and honest with us.
I mean, I'm already like, well, so, but in a small town, I guess you can't really do things like that, because in a small town, it's a small town.
They have more time to pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's all they have to pay attention to. In Colorado Springs, it's a huge area for this thing, so then there's not enough law enforcement to watch every single neighborhood. So it's like, you can get away with stuff like that.
100% I can see that.
But yeah, I didn't really think about that until I got arrested. I was like, yeah, small towns are probably not good for that.
Yeah.
But the voices, back to the voices, they told me that I was about to get arrested, and they were right. Other times where they're just. Sometimes I always feel like they're different, like entities, like they're different, whether they're people that have passed on and I'm connecting on some other type of level, or that it is just all me, and whether it's based off my emotions at the time, whether I'm not really liking myself, or if I'm really like vibing with myself or not. So I really just don't know.
Do you not like yourself sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah, I definitely don't like myself. I think everybody goes through that though. Like,
You're right.
that's a normal thing.
You're right. They were highs and lows. You think the voices kind of respond off that?
They do respond off of that. But there's sometimes where I'll be feeling like shit, and then it's like someone will be there to help me. Usually it's like that doesn't normally happen, but sometimes it does. If I'm feeling like shit and a good voice comes to help me, that just tells me that maybe not all based off of what I'm feeling at the time.
That's interesting. That the voices try to help you.
Yeah.
I can see that makes you trust. It makes you trust the voice.
Yeah, it's like, that's the whole game. They'll make you trust them, and then they'll do something to completely be like, oh, we you.
Yeah.
And like laugh at me about it, talk shit to me about it, and I'm just like,
yeah.
It's just an endless thing. But I'm always so focused on whether they're trying to trick me or help me, that I never really get to build a life around myself. I like have people in my life.
Always good ones, right?
Well, anybody. I surround myself with the people that, like gang members and criminals and drug addicts, because that's the life I wanted to live, kind of. Like I wanted to be a gang member for a long time, but something never made me get past a certain step to being a gang member. It happened on multiple occasions. Like I could have been on 3 different gangs, like different sets, all this type of thing. Every time I would get to a certain point of like initiation, things would fall apart. Those people would go away. I would go away. That situation would just dissolve. And it would be, I think it's because I wasn't supposed to be a gang member. It's not what I was here for.
I mean, I can understand like the gang lifestyle can kind of give you a sense of family and people that are looking out for you and stuff like that. Is that what you're looking for, or you just thought it'd be cool to be part of your gang?
I really don't know why I wanted to be, because I have a family. I have a great family, big, giant family. That's all good. But I don't know, I'm not gonna say none of my family is like criminals because my dad's side of my family is pretty rough, but they're not. They're literally all in prison, so. And they're like a part of things that I don't agree with, like KKK. I'm not racist, so just
Yeah, that's the fact they're even still around is kind of crazy.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's my family, but
That's Georgia, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Georgia, Alabama, just all that kind of area.
Glorious South.
I never really wanted to be a part of that stuff. So that's why I went the black way. I rebelled against that. Even just it's like okay, let's hang out with some black gang members. That's kind of what I felt towards.
Did they just not accept you?
No, it wasn't that. They would always be like, they would always embrace me. Like mostly everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Like the people that I knew, or anytime I would drop certain names, they're like, oh okay. He knows him, like he's good. But it's not they wouldn't accept me, it's like the life had its own plan for me.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, things just wouldn't fall through like I wanted them to. In that area at least.
Sometimes there's a path laid out in front of us that we just don't see. And that path is, we're on it regardless. We see it or not. And maybe it's better you didn't end up in the game. You know, sometimes they're not exactly known for the best moral decisions. But, you know, do you think it was for the better?
I started to notice, after I had been doing it for a while, a couple of years, I started to realize that they don't even follow their own rules. A lot of the gangs have like bylaws and rules that they're supposed to follow, rules that they follow that make them an organization, and they don't even follow their own rules.
It's
So I was
funny
like,
you say that. That we're seeing that in law enforcement.
I was like, what's the point? I can do way better on my own. That's why I got these stars. This is my own moral compass.
Yeah, what do they stand for?
They stand for I make my own morals.
Okay.
Like nobody tells me what's right, what is right and wrong. That's kind of what I rebelled against. I don't really care about breaking the law because a law is a rule that's been written by law enforcement or a government that says I can't do something. Well, I say that I can. So
I'll be the first one to tell you that, of course, as the cops, we obviously naturally are rule followers, but I think some of the laws are horseshit.
some of them,
I think so. But so James, what happened the particular day with the voices? Like what happened at Wall Street?
that particular day.
You can start wherever you want with this.
Really, the whole story started multiple days in advance because I was up. It was like one long continuous. It was really like a week that I was up, but it was, you could phrase it like an entire day because it was just one thing after the next. But the voices were getting so bad and making me so paranoid that I stopped communication with everybody. I I don't know, I just went off on my own, but I would have feel like people were following me and guiding me certain places like Gangstalkers. I don't know if you ever heard of
Yeah.
stuff like that, but I don't know how real it is, but I do know how the feeling of being followed and the weird people looking at you all weird and I don't know. The feeling is very real. I don't know what it is, but anyways, for days on end, this would keep happening. It would getting worse and worse. They were trying to drive me out of Colorado Springs, the entire city. They didn't want me there no more. They were like, you need to get going. You need to leave the city. For no reason. I didn't want to leave. I like Colorado Springs. It's my kingdom. That's where I thrive at the most.
Yeah.
I know the entire city. I was like, I don't want to leave, but they were cars that shouldn't even be out at 2 or 3 in the morning there's just shit tons of cars out, and they're all like focused on me and like guiding me where they want to go, and just all types of shit. It was just, so eventually it hit one morning, and I was just like, this shit, I will leave. I'll go to Denver. I'm just gonna hit I-25 and keep going. So I get to Denver, tweaking, still high as like super high. And the voices the whole time are just it's like guiding me where to go. Like the entire time, whether they guided me through an entire neighborhood, off. Like I was just at the mercy of them. I was just, like, at that point, I was just following everything they were saying. Because why not?
Well, you broke. You had to break.
I literally broke. Yeah, like I was like, I'm no longer me. I'll take the back seat. You guys can drive. I'll just do whatever you say. Because I was done, like, fighting it. Like the Gangstalkers or whatever, they like broke that. I was like, well, I'm done trying to do what I want to do. Let's see where you guys want to take me. So it's like the Gangstalkers and the voices in my head are like kind of like the same type of unit. So at that point, I'm thinking the voices in my head are making me see things now. Like they can make me actually impairing my vision, like making me see.
And what would you see?
It would be like, it's just people, like normal people, like not like shadow people. It's like normal people, cars, like normal things you would see, but they would do weird things. Like if I'm at a gas pump, some dude would be like, this really did happen. Okay, I was at a gas station, gassing up, and I look over, and this dude's like kind of like watching me like that. Don't know him, never seen him before. It's like 2 a.m. It's like, who the out at this time besides tweakers? Like, this dude's just like acting weird, and then he grabs like squeegee, for the windshield, and starts squeegeeing his entire car. I was like, what the are you doing? Like, I'm on drugs and I wouldn't even do that shit. Like, why are you squeegeeing your entire car? If I didn't say nothing to him, I was just like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's odd.
And I was like, he's just doing that just to do something so he can stay here watching me. That's always shit like that. I don't remember where I was going with that, but
Yeah, you're just saying they make you see things.
yeah, they make me see things. So it's like, I guess they would impair my perception of people.
Right.
Like maybe that guy wasn't even doing that. Maybe he wasn't doing that at all. Maybe he was literally just squeegeeing and shit and maybe about to go. Because sometimes it would be like every single person I would see. I've even tested it. Like I would go to a King Soopers in broad daylight, like 5 p.m. rush hour traffic for King Soopers. I would go there and it felt like every single person I would see was doing something weird like that. Like, just purposely getting in my way, looking at me weird. Like, I understand I have all these tattoos and stuff, but it wasn't that. It was, like, different. Like, it was... I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Even though one time I went to that King Soopers and did that, this dude that was, like, getting so close to me, like, on my heels, and I literally turned around and was like, do you want to hold my hand or something? Like, can I help you? I was like, dude, don't walk that close to me that fast. I just got out of prison. Like, I was like, don't do that. He was like, I don't even know what to say right now. I was just like, well, don't do that, first of all. I was like, just be on the way. What the f are you doing?
Yeah, people have
And then he was looking at me stupid, like I'm stupid. I was just like, why are you following me like that? You're in a King Soopers, why are you on my ass?
Yeah. That's rude.
But I don't know.
So they make you drive to Denver and you're seeing shit.
Yeah, the whole entire time. So by the time I hit I-25 and was going to Denver, I was letting them drive me. I was like, just felt like I was being herded somewhere. Like I was just being corralled in. So I was just following where they went. Just la-di-da-di-da. So I found myself at the at-home place or whatever. And I parked. And then they brought me to that dude's car. Never seen him. Don't know him at all. Never seen him. But then they were telling me that they were showing me like that's the person I'm supposed to meet. And I was like, okay. okay, so I parked at kind of a spot where he really wasn't going to think anything weird of it, but I was watching him and I was just like, okay, so what do I do now? Like, what's next? And like, it was weird because they would like guide me off of like shine. They would like shine lights out of the mirrors and things. But I seen this dude shine a light out of his rearview mirror. I was like, okay, so he's definitely the guy I'm supposed to meet. Like, I just got guided here. He's the only one right here. So I sat there for about, I don't even know. I really don't know. How sense of time is kind of when you're on drugs. I sat there for a while, listening to music. They would come through my music too a lot. So the voices coming through my music is like the main way they would talk to me. Because I love music. I just love listening to music. But, so I circle around after a while, and I go somewhere, and then I come back, because they guided me back to him again, and then he's in a different spot facing everybody else, like facing the entire parking lot now. So I pull up kind of a little bit behind him, and then, so I turn on my music, and I like pay attention to my music really, really intensely. I was like, the music that was coming on was telling me that he's been moved into a neighborhood where in some prisons. So
Maybe
like,
justified.
I feel like the voices would play on that. Like, what the are you doing?
Pure evil.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. But the voices were telling me he's getting away with things. Like, but I would get like a little hint. They wouldn't exactly tell me, oh, you should do this. But they were like, give me a little hint. But I would make sure, I was like, I'm not doing that big of a thing until I get someone to say, you need to do this. Because at the point my mind was broken. Like, I was just like, what the f-? When I first got the like urge to shoot him, I was just like, I'm not doing that. Not just off of voices in my head. It's like, that's stupid. Why would I do that?
Yeah, I can see that.
That's obviously, I'm not going to do that just off voices in my head. But so I was like, okay, I changed the song. The next song that came on, telling me, away with it. You need to do something about it. But like, aside from all of this, I'm looking around. And I'm like, what has my shit brought me to this time? It's never brought me to anything this crazy. So I was sitting around and looking at everybody. I was like, okay, it makes me angry. Right now it makes me angry. So now they're planning on, they're like attacking the way I feel, making me make an impulse decision, is what I felt like. I was like cognizant when I was doing it, but following the voices is like, still to this day, obviously it was the wrong thing to do. Like, there's no getting around that. Like, ending somebody's life is wrong no matter. But why would my voices tell me to do that? It's like, I don't know. Still, and then even after all this happens, weeks, days later, I started thinking about it. I'm like, I probably just did that to an innocent man. So my voices tricked me into doing something like that to an innocent person. I started asking I'd already told my friends about like what my problems were with my head. Like, yeah, you need to go like see somebody. You need to go get diagnosed with schizophrenia, whatever you need to get diagnosed with, because something is wrong. And I never got to it because by that point I had warrants and I couldn't go see a doctor. Cause, I don't know, I felt like the doctors would just be like, okay, he's here. And they would get me.
Well, I'm sorry you haven't been able to get the help that you need. I think that's, I just think that's not fair to you. I think that getting that help would have helped you on how. I'd like to say thank you for being honest and being forthcoming with your information. I think it's a huge step in the right direction of your character and who you really are. Not what the voices tell you are, but who you really are as a person. When you sat back and thought about, holy shit, I might have killed an innocent man, what was your feelings about that?
I mean, like, my entire life, I really don't look back at the past. I'm like, oh, poor me. Like, how I look back at it was like, wow, that actually just happened. So, I guess I have to deal with whatever comes with that. And like, a couple of days later, I heard that the police were looking for me for it, and I was like, well, that's what comes with that. So, I'm ready for that. Obviously, I'm not going to go turn myself in because I still have things I want to do instead of sit in jail for a very long time. So I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to go high, ate the food I wanted to eat, stuck to myself, really just got as high as I wanted. I was kind of an antisocial person.
Yeah. The voices kind of make you that way too, huh?
I started to embrace the antisocialness. I would like have, I still like to hang out with girls and stuff, so I have like one girl in particular that I've known since I was really young.
It's Elena, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's really cool. She knows about my voices. I don't know, she's like so like young in her mind. She's just still like a kid. So it's funny to talk to her about like all the things that I've done, like going to prison and just because she's older than me. But I tell her all this stuff like I've been through, lived lifetimes ahead of her, and she's still listening to me. It's like just blow her mind with stories that I have. It's like it's ridiculous, but she's really cool.
So she was your girlfriend, or is? You're just really close.
We're just really close.
Yeah.
We've dated before, but that was like when I was like a young teenager. And it didn't last long because for whatever reason, we just couldn't hang out a lot of the day at the time.
Well, I'd like to ask you some more details about multiple things. So you were in the gray Ford F-150, correct?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
In the neighborhood.
Was that a car that was boosted? Did you yourself boost that, or is that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was reported stolen on the 28th of October. That sound about right? Ish.
Sure.
Okay. Did you put the license plate on it for another car?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you pull that license plate off of? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was just roughly about the same kind of truck.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of would do. Like if I ever boosted a car, I would go find a similar car and take the front license plate off it so it's less likely to get noticed. Put it on the back so that when they run the tag, it comes back as that truck. It's not reported stolen.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll just throw them off for just enough
It
to
works quite often.
yeah, throw them off just long enough to strike me away.
Very smart.
It's,
We do it all the time. At the mall, you can imagine. It's so that plate was actually off a Ford 250, gray color 250. It's very similar truck, just like you said. So what did you do in the truck from the 28th until you decided to drive the long tree of the 4th? Just
God.
yeah. Is that the week near
Lived out
week?
of it. Yeah. out of it. If I got hungry, I went and ate. If I needed to change my clothes, I went and changed. If I felt like I needed a shower, I would go shower somewhere.
Okay.
Just whatever I needed to do next, I was doing.
Where would you stay the most? I know you went back to your mom's house every now
I
and
was
then.
living out of the truck. I wasn't like staying anywhere.
Okay.
I was just at that point, like weeks before that, me and my mom got into an argument, and I told her I was like, "I'll go back to the streets." I was like, "I'm not dealing with this shit." Like, they kept blaming me for things I wasn't doing. Automatically, I'm gonna be suspect number one.
Yeah.
I'm a criminal. Things are happening now that they weren't happening when I was gone. It's like automatically I'm gonna be suspect number one. I'm tired of being blamed for shit I wasn't doing.
I can see why they do that, but it's unfair to you.
And every time they'd be like, "We're not blaming you. We just have to make sure." And I was like, "Well, making sure is, and me coming to me is, assuming that I did something is blaming me for
Yeah.
it. Like,
Might as well be angry.
it's the same thing."
So we get the F-150, we get the plate. Did you steal the plate first or the truck first?
The truck.
We live in the truck. Voices are telling you and guiding you out of Carl Springs by the morning of the 4th. What you said.
Yeah, I did leave in the morning.
Okay.
As soon as the sun came up, I left Colorado Springs.
So we know that your truck left at home at 11:47. What were you doing before that? Well,
Before that,
yeah.
before I left
So
Colorado
you,
Springs,
yeah, you leave at sunrise. You're up
I
in
was
Denver
like
for an
running
hour, so.
from the Gangstalkers or whatever. I was trying to get away from them. Like trying to just get somewhere where I could be alone with my thoughts for hours, maybe even like a full day. I was trying to do that.
Okay.
So I would run out of gas and be like, "They're trying to run me out of gas." So I would have to keep eyes on how much money I had at the time because I didn't have a lot. I'd be like, "Okay, I need to stop using gas." Eventually, I would hit to the point where I was like, "I need to stop using gas. I need to stop. Whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do. So I need to park and stop using gas." That's how I'm gonna run out and be on foot myself.
Yeah. So we go to at home. We're sitting in the parking lot. We try and drive around the parking lot a little bit. What time do you think you got into the at home parking lot?
I have no idea. I have no idea what time I got to Denver. Like, what time I was. I don't know what day it was, what time it was, anything.
At some point,
I know that it was daytime.
okay, that's fair. So you see his car parked. You said it moved. How did it move?
So he was faced. It's like when you go in to at home. If you go to like the far end of the parking lot, you look out towards a highway. There's a highway right there.
Highway
He was looked out towards the highway
Okay.
when I first got there. And then when I left and came back, he was like in the same little area but facing towards the cars in the parking lot. He was like just flipping around. So I went and parked by the highway, like way back behind him.
Okay. So when you park behind him, you have the voices telling you, they're tricking you, telling you some things about him, right? Is that accurate? So do you get out of the truck and walk towards him, or do you drive the truck to him and then get out?
I drove the truck towards him. I never got out of the truck.
Okay. So everything happened from the truck. Okay. How did you manage that? So if he's parked here, you just kind of like
Just pulled up next to him.
from the driver's side this way or this way? Like how? I guess I'm saying like how were you pointing the gun at him?
I think you guys had it on video.
Huh?
So you can't see.
You know, the truck is blocking a lot of view.
Yeah, okay, so I pulled up next to him. I'm driving, he's sitting in his driver's seat right here. And I just rolled a bit out the passenger window.
Okay.
I had the gun sitting in the passenger seat to where he couldn't see it.
Okay.
At that time, I was like, once I had pulled up next to him, I knew what I was going to do. I was fully committed. I was just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this now. But, I don't know. I I was fully broken at that point. I was in control, but the voices had like hijacked. I don't know. It was weird. Maybe not fully in control. Like one hand on the wheel, and then the voices had the other hand on the wheel. Like it was like
Scary, bro.
yeah. It was. I didn't know what was gonna happen really if I didn't do that. They didn't say anything about like what happened if I didn't do it, but they had never driven me to something that crazy before, like ever.
So as they're driving the scene, they're driving you. I guess what I'm trying to say is your mind saying, "What the is this actually happening?" Or how is your own intellect absorbing this?
No, it wasn't necessarily like how is this happening because it's happened so many times before. Like especially when I get up on for a few days, which anything can happen. I can see anything. Nothing surprises me. Like I just like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Okay.
But it's like, you know what synchronicity is? Like
Yeah.
things that you see over and over that might mean something to you. It's like that kind of just over and over and over again. Like that's what's following is like. It's like following synchronicity. It's weird.
No, I've actually read an article about that a couple years ago. Certain things happen that mean something, so you follow that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like that.
So he's here, you pull up next to him, gun's here, lean over, and you shoot through your own passenger window. Like your window's down, right?
Yeah, my window was down.
Okay.
His was about halfway down. I pulled up and asked him. I asked him if he needed any drugs first because I wanted to look at his face. Obviously, I wanted to see who he was. I wanted to look at him.
What did he say?
They also before this, the voices also told me that he was working with the police, like trying to. He was like snitching. He was like a CI. So obviously, I'm against that. I'm a criminal. I don't like stuff like that. So I pull up asking him if he needs any drugs. So I was like, hey, you need any weed? I got girls. I got anything. What are you looking for? And he was like, oh no, man, I'm good. Like, cheese on his face, like not like you pull up to a grandpa and you think somebody asks you that, they're not gonna be like cheese in your face. Be like, oh no, man, I'm good. He was acting weird about it, so I was like, okay, well, is there anything you are looking for? I can help you get it. Like, he's like, well, what else do you have? And I was like, okay, what else do I have? I just started naming off drugs I didn't have at all. I was like, look, I can get you ecstasy, acid, like, I can get you anything, dude. He's like, oh no, I'm good. I was like, why did you just ask me what else do I have? That's a weird question.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was like, okay, he's definitely a CI. Like, you asked me a weird, what else do I have? You want to just know everything I have? Then I just looked at him and I was I was like, oh, I just dipped out.
It's an insane story, man.
It's crazy.
Do you know? So was he looking at you when you did it?
I saw his face when the first bullet hit him.
When the first bullet hit him?
I know that he got hit like in the face. I know I shot him in the face.
Okay.
But his face, like after I shot him, was just like pure, like what the f just happened. And then after I hit him with the second one, I hit the way and just zoomed out of there. The whole time I was at the mall, 'cause I didn't know where I was going. I don't know that area. I just pulled into some of there where there was a lot of people, a lot of cars where I could just blend in. So I just sat there for a second. I was like, okay, maybe I'll just go into the mall, change my clothes real quick. But the whole entire time I was in the mall, before I got into the mall, everyone was these voices. Everyone was telling me, like, kind of hyping me up, but like telling me what to do. It was weird. I didn't like it personally. I was like, like, everyone should not know about this right now. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why does everybody know? Like, but the voices were just like, overwhelming me.
Just fucking.
To where I was getting mad. Like I wanted to just shut my mind off. So I would go outside by myself, I would smoke a cigarette, I was like listen to a song that usually like calms me down,
Inside the mall?
outside, just step outside. But then I would go back in. I was like stuck at the mall, like in a little mind trap for maybe like 2 hours, I'd say. I don't know. It's hard to tell time, but it was about 2 hours, I'd say.
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
The whole time I was there, I was like stuck in a mind trap. Like people just talking to me, and I was just like, what the f-, man? Like the only person I didn't feel weird about was like if you saw on the cameras or whatever, the dude that shined my shoes.
Yeah, well, that was a weird interaction. What
It was
that
weird as f-, like, but he was the only one that I didn't feel weird around. I was just like, oh, finally somebody I can like.
We thought you knew him.
No.
You guys were like,
Yeah, it's because we have that like same kind of, hey, I'm from the same place as you.
I see what
We
you're saying.
can, yeah. That's why I walked up to him and even talked to him, because normally I'd be like, get away from me.
Actually, you bought some stuff from him, right?
Yeah, I bought some shoe cleaning stuff.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah. But I don't know what the fuck that was. Just weird. The whole thing was weird. Like, I was living in a whole entire different realm.
Where did you go by now? So you zoom out of the parking lot, take a right on Yosemite. I know you probably don't know the roads,
I don't know.
but you took a right on a street called Yosemite right when you left the parking lot. Where'd you go directly after you left at home?
The mall.
Well, yes and no. You did go to the mall, but you actually ended up inside
I circled around like
Best Buy.
a different parking lot.
Yeah.
So I was looking for somewhere to go that was kind of like just away from where I was. So I pulled into this parking lot and I circled around and I was like, I don't really like this area. So I pulled out again. I think that's when I went to the mall.
Okay, yeah. Did you go anywhere before that parking lot? There's just a couple minutes on video that we don't have you doing anything. You obviously ended up over at
I
Best
never
Buy.
got out of the truck.
Okay.
I was just driving around. And
Okay.
then I ended up at the mall.
What was your ideas inside the mall? What was going through your head?
At the mall,
Yeah.
I couldn't think straight. I couldn't think clearly as the voices were like just pounding me. Like I was just like, oh my god, it was overwhelming. Like I couldn't function in any type of way.
Probably being inside the mall didn't help at all.
No, all the people around me, like it was just too much. I don't even know why I stayed there that long. They were like telling me to get new clothes. Like you need to get new clothes, get something nice. So I went in. I was gonna buy a pair of shoes. I looked at the shoes they were selling me, and I was like, "These are fake."
Is that a shoe palace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I looked at the shoes, and I was like, "These are fake Jordans." Like, this place is selling fake shoes. I knew they were fake. I looked at them. I was like, "These are fake as hell." And I was like, "I'm not buying these." So I walked out of there. But that's why I went there. I was gonna get new shoes. So I went to that place and I was like, oh, they're selling fake shoes. Nice. So I left.
Did you ever buy anything from there?
Not Shoe Palace.
Okay.
I don't think.
Well, you left with
I
a bag
definitely-
from the shoe shine place, walking to the shoe palace. I didn't know if you had put something inside the shoe shine bag or
I
anything
think
like
the
that.
only thing I bought from the mall was the shoe shine stuff and then a shirt.
Yeah, the Nike shirt.
I think that was it.
So after Shoe Palace, you kind of beeline it through the mall. You end up at Nordstrom's. This is where you entered, right? I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you were paying attention, but you entered the mall through Nordstrom's.
I usually go in and go out the same exit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did, which is accurate to your
Yeah.
routine anyway. You go inside Nordstrom's, you buy the shirt. In video, we see you go into the bathroom, change your shirt, and walk out. A different shirt, no chain.
It was probably just tucked in.
Just tucked in. Okay. What'd you do with the shirt that you had on?
I either threw it in that trash can in there or I kept it. I don't remember.
Okay. What kind of handgun did you use? 43? Is that the one you were trying to sell?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to establish a timeline, obviously. I'm not trying to like trick you or anything like that. I'm just trying to get
I've already committed. I mean, I've already said that I did, so it's nothing more to that.
I can't explain to you how I know this is a shitty situation, but how appreciative I am of you being honest and being forthcoming with information and doing what's right for your family and doing what's right for the other family. You are providing an unbelievable amount of closure, and I'm not afraid to say it like this, but you're doing what you can to right a wrong the best you can. I think that's important, but I think people need to understand that. Okay? And when this interview is looked at, I think they're going to see that. That you're not an entirely bad person. You made a mistake and you have a psychiatric issue going on that needs to be addressed. Who'd you end up selling the gun to?
I didn't end up selling it. I ended up just getting rid of it.
Where did you get rid of it?
I just threw it in a stream somewhere. In the Springs. I threw it in a stream somewhere. I don't know exactly where. There's no stream. It's probably gone now. But I don't really. It was in the stream.
Okay. I don't blame you for that. I would probably get rid of it too. 'Cause I think you were trying to sell it to Gregory, right, or Neil. We have Facebook messages of you trying to get him to buy it out for $300. It's not accurate, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I don't know if you bought it or not. It just sounded like you did.
I definitely got rid of it.
Okay.
Threw it away.
And just to be clear, if you did sell it to that individual, we're not looking to charge you anything. Obviously, with a crime of this magnitude, we're just trying to recover the handgun. It's very important to us, if you can imagine. But if you don't know where you threw it, you don't know where you threw it. I can't.
Is it still loaded? I just hate for a kid to get out of it.
I unloaded it and put the bullets in different places, put the clip in different places. I took it apart and threw it in 2 different pieces.
Smart. It makes it safe. Highly unlikely someone's going to find it and put it together. So the shell casing's obviously ejected into the truck.
Yeah, I only found one of them, so that's what I was telling the truck.
It was. We found it inside the. So you have the truck, the door pocket, and the rear passenger door that was buried in there. We assume. But we also. So just to backtrack a little bit, there might be some information you don't know. Your truck was pulled over. The truck you had was pulled over, and Eliza was in it. What transpired? You giving the truck to Eliza?
I didn't give it to her. I didn't even know she had it.
I
ended up I just left it.
Oh.
Where I was just, at that point I was up for way too many days and just left it.
Did she steal it from you?
I wasn't going back to it.
Yeah.
I left the key in the cup holder. I just left. Got my stuff out of it and I was like, I'm just gone. I need to go somewhere and go to sleep.
Yeah.
I need to shower and sleep and food. I left her, left the truck. I'm not going back to it. I'll find a different one.
Just tied to the bag.
Yeah, and it was just ruined. Like it was just like the dash thing was messed up. The heat was gone.
So it looks like a bullet was put through.
Yeah, I did that.
Right.
Like I was like this was before this whole week transpired. I did that like the week before because I was also just going crazy, completely mad. Like I was mad at myself. I was like on the verge. That bullet was probably gonna go through my head at one point if it didn't go through that dash. So I was just going down the highway, just blaring music, and a cop was behind me, and I was just like, I put a bullet through the dash, and the cop was just like just slammed his brakes, and I never saw him again. I was like, wow, easy way to get rid of the cops. I
One in a million thing right there.
I was ready to go to jail at that point too. I was just like, kind of wanted to. I was just like, put a bullet through the dash, boom. I was like, oh, that's loud. Like, you know, just a cab of a truck.
Yeah, just absorbed it.
Yeah, I was just like, Jesus Christ. I was like, damn, I didn't just shoot the engine. It was like, I don't know why it was like pure impulse. I was like, Eliza was like, oh, I bet your gun's not even real, but she wasn't even with me when I did that. I was like talking to myself, talking to the voices. I was like, oh, you want me to prove this gun's real? Boom! I just shot it in the cabin. I was like, oh my God. Like, that was way intense. I did not need to do that.
Dude, shooting the gun in the cab like that?
It hurts. Yeah.
Blow your ear.
It really hurts. Yeah. It was, yeah, this ear was messed up for a couple weeks after that.
I got a constant ring in my ears because I've had too many rounds.
Shot out.
See,
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Well, we don't get to that second. So Eliza gets the truck because you left it. Were you guys just hanging out in the same area and somehow she got it from you that way? Because she said directly she got it from you.
I just left it where I left her.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Like we smoked drugs together. Like that. Literally, that's it.
Okay. Were you guys like a night owner or anything like that? You guys boyfriend, girlfriend?
No,
Just
I never
just
kissed her.
touched
I never touched her. Never nothing. I was just we smoked drugs together. Like that was it.
Okay.
I didn't even know her that. Like I knew her for about 2 weeks. Like I just picked her up one day 'cause she was out in the cold. I was like, hey, you need a ride? She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you want to smoke? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
you ever tell her about it?
I don't think so.
Well, you had to at some point because she definitely gave a very similar story to what you said. You don't remember telling her at all? I mean, if you guys are like doing drugs together enough for days at a time, I mean, who knows what conversations are being had, right?
I don't know.
So after the incident, about 3 days later, Eliza gets the truck. It's driving around. We do have it hitting license plate readers all around Colorado Springs, and I'm assuming that's when Eliza had it. Because we see her going into Walmart at one point, going back to the truck. And when she got stopped by Colorado Springs, I forget what day that was. I think it was Friday. I forget exactly what day it is, but it doesn't really matter. She's in it. What are you doing during this time? Like, where are you at?
I went home for 2 days and slept for 2 days.
Yeah.
Literally the entire time we slept. And then my mom didn't even know I was there. I just went to my room, shut the door, fucking out for 2 days. My brother knew I was there. That was it.
Your brother picks you up quite often. You call him.
Yeah.
You might go to
If
the
I need something and nobody else is around, I'll call my brother. He'll usually be there.
He's a good guy, man. He's there for you all the time.
Not all the time, but he knows when to say no too. He does know. It's not about that. Hey, can you come pick me up? It's like 11:30 at night. He lives all the way out in nowhere.
That's right, he does.
So I was like, he'd be like, no, I can't get you. I'm like, dude, we're not cold.
So he has boundaries.
Yeah, he does.
And you appreciate those boundaries, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I do. Yeah. If he didn't have boundaries, I would have just probably kept using it for things.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I do when I'm on drugs. I just use people until they are not used to me anymore. I'm glad he would tell me no.
It's good.
I ask you a question. Where did the gun come from?
I stole it out of a car. I'm pretty sure. I think. That's where I would get everything. That's where I was getting money, clothes, shit that I had, like knives and stuff. I was just stealing them out of cars. Just go out at night, tear up in the entire neighborhood, just unlock the cars.
It's just opportunity, like you just find one that's unlocked and you actually break in.
No, I never break into them. It's always unlocked. You would be surprised.
Not man,
No,
I'm
not.
not surprised. I'm telling you right now, our city has an habit of that. It's ridiculous amount of people that don't close their garage doors and lock their doors.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
I never go into houses. I see a garage door open, I'll be in there, but I never go into the house. Cars are enough for me. I try to stay away from people, but I like to be like a little sneaky thief, not a brazen, give me all your shit type of person.
Yeah.
It's just easier being sneaky.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree. I agree. So, at some point, you found out that we knew, right? How'd that happen?
My brother told me.
I think that's the day we did the search warrant in your house, right?
Yeah, I called him and he was like, dude, the police are here looking for you. And I was like, I sat for an entire 2 days, just like,
When you say sad, where'd you sit?
well, I was on foot at that point, so I was just moving. I would find a park bench somewhere. I was just always moving around on foot, so I didn't want to sit in one spot. So it's trying to get caught.
Yeah, I understand. I agree. So you find out through your brother, I think. So it just, like I said, I'm trying to be transparent with you. When we found your phone, that's how we found your house. Because we got it pinged in that location. We found it smashed.
Mm-hmm.
Was that on purpose?
It was on purpose, but it wasn't because I thought the police were after me. It was more like the gangstalkers, like they were messing with me. I thought they were like tapped into my phone and was messaging Elena messages that I wasn't saying, but I was all in my head because I went to her and looked at her phone. I was like, let me see your messages between me and you. And it was just what I had sent. I was like, I was just tripping. Like I was just along with it. The voices messing with me. So I had smashed my phone at her house because, I was just tripping. I was mad at the voices.
This whole time the voices are just tormenting you.
Yeah, the entire time it's like the story of my life. Like, the voices are just always.
Are they even allowing you to even absorb the magnitude of what happened in Lone Tree?
No, not really. Like this, I don't know. It's like that's kind of like a me type of thing. I think because me doing that, I've never been like I'm empathic, but to a point where some things just don't affect me the way they should. And it's usually death. Like death of family members is something I've always been like, you're lucky. You're lucky you don't have to be here no more.
Oh.
I'm not gonna cry because you're gone. You're the lucky one. Like more if I'm gonna cry, it's because I'm still here. So I look at death like it's a celebration, but not like what I did was completely different. It's not something to be celebrated at all.
I think it says something and you feel that way. You know, you may have something inside you that's not letting you absorb it the way, you can absorb it the way we would. You know, I think death for law enforcement is a little bit of a different subject for us, right? So maybe it might be the same for you in a way, naturally. But you definitely recognize that we did it wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. It's ownership. So we smashed the phone at Elena's house. Then you go back to your house and you leave the phone there. So why'd you leave the phone there? Just because you thought it was done?
Yeah. I
It was not optimal, that's for sure.
couldn't get back into it. It wasn't just a fix the screen type of situation. It was definitely broken.
Did you leave the Nike shirt and because we did find the Nike shirt and your shirt you wore to the wall inside there, inside your room. Did you wash them?
I think so.
I think they were in clean clothes.
I think when I got to my house, I took off all my clothes, emptied all my backpacks on my bed, went through everything, washed all my clothes, and like repacked what I wanted, repacked the clothes I wanted, and left again.
Are you at all in your mind trying to, like, elude us or any type of finding of you?
Yeah, I was, but it wasn't like top of my priorities. Like I really didn't. I don't care if I get caught. I'm gonna get caught eventually. It's just how it is. Like it's just unless I leave the country to a non-extraditable country that's like highly unlikely of me to get that far. And in the past, I've never made it even close this far. So
I think you got a very honest, realistic view. Yeah, no, I'll be honest. So, the chain you wore, is that the chain that was hanging on your bedpost?
probably it's like a sterling silver.
Do you own any other chains?
I owned one other one, but I think I had that one with me until like a couple days ago.
Okay.
I didn't wear it though. It was just something I had.
Okay. So after you leave your house, you go from there.
I'm not sure. I was probably on foot for a couple days, maybe even like 2 weeks, just bouncing around from one place to one place.
Because your brother had given you a ride that morning. Because we got to the house that afternoon. Your brother said, I think it was like 4 or 5 or something like that, right? Your brother had said that he gave you a ride to his work that morning. And then he saw you walking, I believe, North and Academy.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I was walking, I could have been anywhere. But I actually think I did go back to where I left the truck to see if it was still there. I think that's when I did that. I went back to see if the truck was still there because I was on foot. I was like, okay, well, I can go grab this truck if it's still there, and it wasn't. So I was like, okay, I'm still on foot. So I just kept walking. I was like looking for a place where I could find a new car.
So Eliza had said that you had a beat up red car sedan. Is that
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Well, not really a long time ago. Yeah. Yes, I did have it.
okay? Was that like kind of maybe in the picture when she acquired the truck?
No. I only had that car for a few days.
Is that another car you boosted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just found the keys in that car and just took off. But that's how I boost a car though. It's like I'm only gonna take it if the keys are in the car.
It makes sense. I can't believe people ever in a car like that and I expected it stolen.
It's easy.
Yeah, I believe it. Good for you, frustrating for us. So you went back to try and find the truck. It's not there. At some point, you end up on North Academy at a 7-Eleven off Garden of Gods. Sorry, not North Academy. Garden of Gods. You were using a cell phone? You actually use a cell phone? Okay. What was that phone call for?
I called my brother.
Yeah.
I was gonna see when he was getting off so he could come pick me up. And then he was like, he gave me some type of something he had to do and like he couldn't come pick me up. And I was like, okay, well that would actually be better for me because I don't want to go home tonight. So I needed to stay in the city to find a new car. And my brother doesn't go help me do any of that stuff. I've always, ever since I started doing the crime stuff, I was like, me and my brother, that's the boundary there.
Yeah.
Me and my brother are never gonna do crime together. So I would just have him give me rides, but he was like, no, I can come pick you up tomorrow maybe. I was like, alright, well that's actually better for me. I'll talk to you tomorrow. That was all that call was.
So from there, where'd you go? Because you walked down by the Chick-fil-A.
I walked all the way up into like Rock Raymond area. I was just looking for neighborhoods that I could hit at night.
Okay.
So I walked like all the way up, a little bit up Garden of the Gods, and then I took like a left. I was trying to get back to Academy, but I took a weird way that I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was just to explore. And I was like finding neighborhoods, exploring. Yeah, it took me fucking a long ass time to get back to Academy. I got lost really, but I found my way back.
Do you remember calling your brother from Jimmy John's?
I do. Because I was gonna meet him at work and just talk to him a little bit, hang out with him for a second before
That's when he told you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I called him from Jimmy Johnson and he told me that. I was like, I can't even be here right now. This is a bad spot for me to be. So yeah, I walked from there. I walked somewhere from there. I don't even remember where I went. But I started walking again. It took me a couple of days to find, like maybe about a week to find a new car.
Is that when you found the white sedan?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So when you're up here in Wyoming, well, let me backtrack just a little bit. So you find out that we're on to the whole situation. There's a felony warrant out for your arrest. I'm sure you can imagine that. Did you see any of the Crime Stopper stuff, any stuff on the news?
Like some of my criminal friends would like show me, like if I was hanging out with them for a second, they'd be like, show me I was on Crime Stopper, and I was like, give me your phone. Why are you looking at shit like that? I would take their phone and I would like throw it back at them. I was like, don't look at shit like that, and show me like what?
I'll be honest, like,
I would get mad at them for showing me. Like I was like, I don't want to see that.
why would you get mad?
Because if I see them looking at it and there's a reward out for information for me, I'm like, and they just saw it, I'm gonna be like, now I can't hang out with you.
You don't trust them.
Yeah, you can't trust anybody.
Well, you can't trust it. Yeah, you can't trust anybody.
You can't trust anybody like that. And now I seen them look at it and they showed me, and I'm just like, well, you just burned yourself. Now I can't ever talk to you again.
You need to isolate yourself even more.
Because these were some of the people. I was like, at this point, I was hanging out with maybe like 2 people, and I was already by myself for like most of my time. If I was gonna hang out with those 2 people, it was to pick up drugs, or if it was to get a shower. Like, that was it. Where I was like, all right, well, now I can't pick up drugs anymore. So that's when I was like, yeah, I'm leaving town. But after that happened, I was like, gotta leave town.
So you just have to drive to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you pick Wyoming? I'm just curious.
Well, I thought it would be too obvious just to head straight south, to go straight to the border. I feel like you'd be expecting that, so I was like, go head north.
I'll be honest, man, you probably would have made it.
Any type of difference?
I don't think. Well, I think you do decide to go south. I mean, barring anything like stealing anything, because that's ultimately how we got caught this time, right? You just committed a theft in a small town. But if you just went straight south, I would have made it. They don't check shit like over.
I didn't have enough money to go straight across the border, anyways.
That makes sense. Okay.
I literally left Colorado Springs with $25. Yeah, so I was like on my ass for sure. I had a bunch of gift cards, but they're all to like food places, so I was like, I can't really do shit with that cash wise.
So were you trying to get to Canada? Or just maybe don't know?
I wanted to go see a few things, like maybe like talking on a few people randomly and just be like, hey, nice to see you, probably never gonna see you again. Peace out. Like,
So you knew you were going to get caught, it's just a matter of time.
Oh,
You're just
yeah.
trying to maybe just see some people really.
yeah, I was gonna see people before I left. My plan was to go to like either up to Oregon and Washington, because those are just 2 states that I always wanted to go to. and then all the way back east to Ohio and Alabama and shit.
Yeah.
So just see family there and then go back across the border. Or eventually, I think like a couple hours before I got caught, I was like, I'll just go straight east. I'm gonna go west a little bit. I'm just gonna go east. That's when I hit the highway just to go east. Didn't even know where it was taking me. I was just like, oh, highway going east. Let's go.
Go as far as you can.
My long-term plan was either just, without getting caught, was to make it to Argentina. So I had planned out pretty far, but didn't make it very far.
I mean, I think the addiction to drugs probably holds not just you back, but everybody back from achieving ultimately any goal except for it becomes primary necessity, right? Do you think being incarcerated makes you better?
Me better? It depends on what you do with your incarceration. Because it can make you a better criminal, it can make you a better person, or it can also make you a bigger piece of shit if you want to be. Like, it's just depends on what you do with your time here.
I guess a lot of because I used to work in a jail similar to this, a little bit bigger. That I would meet inmates just like yourself. They would say, "I'm glad to be here because I'm not going to doing bad things and doing drugs. Like I'm actually clean and better off in here." I don't think about it like that, or it makes you feel that way.
Drugs really isn't my problem. Even though I do drugs, I wouldn't say drugs is my problem.
You don't look like the full-fledged
Drug addict. People
Like,
tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you look really good. Yeah. Like, I got all my teeth. Don't pick in my face and do all that weird shit. I do it for like the mind thing. It's all about the mind, what it does to my mind. I don't really care about any of the other stuff. Like, I take it like medication. I don't take it like how other people do it.
did you go through withdrawals when you got in here?
I usually don't really get withdrawals. I used to do heroin and I got withdrawals from that, but
That's rough stuff.
yeah, heroin's pretty bad. So that was like 5 years ago. But yeah, I don't really withdraw. But I like sleep for 2 days at max. Like that's it.
That feels good.
Yeah.
So the guns and stuff that they found inside the car, any of those guns, just asking how you're supposed to do that, are any of those guns the gun that was used in Lone Tree?
No, I got rid of that gun.
How are you finding so many guns?
They're in cars. That one neighborhood that I hit in Wyoming, that one small town, is where I got all those guns in one night.
That doesn't surprise me. It's Wyoming.
And yeah, that's what I was like. I was thinking that too. I was like, oh my god, I've never found this many guns in one night in my entire life. It's the biggest lick I've ever hit in my entire life. I had like 4 long guns and 3 pistols in one fucking night. I was like, I was gonna sell them all. I was gonna keep either the Glock or the Sig. Just for like 2 pistols that are the best. I just took the wheel gun because it was cool to have. But I was gonna sell all of them. I was gonna stash them all and then come back to it one day and sell them. What's the plan?
You ever go out to Teller County?
I've only been to the jail there once. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot like this small town in Wyoming. Like they just got a bunch of
I had to.
redneck gun toting.
And I don't really like Teller County. It's just kind of
Like,
cold out there. And, there's nothing I can do in Teller County that I can't do in Colorado Springs.
the only thing out there is Cold Creek.
Yeah.
That's about it.
We found something you were trying to sell for $900. Is that the truck?
No, I don't usually sell the vehicles.
What were you trying to sell for $900? It was a little while after you were trying to sell the gun for $300 to $350 in Gregory.
I haven't picked up anything I could have came up on. I don't remember. sell anything for $900. I'm damn sure. 'Cause I never made $900.
Right. And then you mentioned, right after that, you mentioned something to Liza saying, why would you set me up to get robbed? Did you get
I
robbed?
was pretty positive she was setting me up to get robbed. Like, I was just getting kind of like a weird vibe. That's why I left her. That's why I left the truck and left her. I was like, I'm out.
You guys actually what happening, or are they voices?
It could have been the voices. I don't care if it was the voices or if it was just some weird ass shit going on. If there was even a possibility that she was setting me up, I was like, this. Because she's a nobody to me. I don't.
She's rough shape for sure.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care about her at all. So if I could just ditch it right now, and she could have been doing nothing wrong, and I still wouldn't care. So I was like, I'm just not even gonna take that chance. But I did end up losing everything because I left the truck and her. I took some stuff with me. It was just too much to carry, so I was like, I get rid of that. I get rid of this bag. I ended up losing a lot of shit because of that.
Is that how you lost the gun?
I stashed the gun when I did that, and then it came back for a couple days later. Because I didn't make up my mind on what I wanted to do with it yet.
So when you came back for it a couple days later, where'd you stash it?
So first, in some like wet ditch or some drainage shit. Just knew nobody was gonna go there.
It was there when you went back?
Yeah. I
And
left a couple things there, and everything was there when I got back.
How, so when you got the gun, how long did you hang on to it for? I guess when you got it out of that drainage ditch, how long did you hang on to it for?
Maybe about a week or a few days.
Okay.
I eventually got to the point where I was just like, I just need to get rid of this thing. It's just playing me. It doesn't help me commit my crimes because I don't need a gun to commit the crimes that I commit.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I literally just had the gun just because it was a cool gun. I never had a gun before.
Cocks are nice.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I did that one out of a truck. I car hopped it out of a truck. It was literally the first part of the night. Literally pulled up the center console. I was a pistol. I was like, yeah.
Magazines and all were there.
2 clips, one in it, and 2 other clips, all full. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, I could quit tonight and could quit off one car and be good for the night. But I didn't. Kept going. I always keep going. It's like a greed thing.
So, I just want to address the gun one more time. I know you're going to give us an answer, but you're just being very forthcoming. I just want to make sure this is what happened. Are you sure that you ditched the gun in a river?
I don't know if it was like a river, but it was like a stream or something. Yeah.
Was it like in the wetlands area?
Kind of, yeah. It was like kind of in like a spot where nobody really walks. Like it was back in the woods, but there was a stream.
Do you remember if it was like on the south side of the springs, east side?
It was the south side.
And that's like the Sand Creek area.
Mm.
I actually was straight back in the
I
day.
think Sierra, maybe? Sierra. Yeah, somewhere around. It's definitely the south side.
So, is there any like past trauma that happened in your life that made you maybe trigger these voices? Is there anything that
I would have tried to think about it. The only thing that's really happened to me is my dad not being there. Like, even that doesn't really affect me like how it would affect everybody else. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
I knew my dad before the separation, but him not being there didn't really faze me.
did you witness? Because your mom had indicated that. Because obviously, like if you can imagine, before we're talking right now, I'm trying to get to know you without even actually talking to you, right? Because that's my job. I'm talking to your mom and I'm asking her, hey, is there anything that's ever happened in James's life that may have led to this moment? You know, a series of things that led to this. You know, Your mom had mentioned that your dad was kind of physically abusive to her and you sometimes. That's something that you experienced. Remember?
I don't remember it.
You were 4 when it happened.
I don't remember it, but it could be like just repressed.
Yeah.
Like a repressed memory. I've tried to remember it. I've tried to go back as far as I can. I don't remember that.
Okay.
But yeah, she did. She has told me about it.
I'm sorry to go through your childhood without your dad and that stuff either way. You know, maybe obviously it's not an excuse for anything that's happened after since then, but I think it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I definitely would have been different with him there, even if he was like a piece of shit or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have learned things that easier that I didn't have to learn the hard way.
I think that's a mature way to look at it.
Did you ever talk with your parents about the voices you heard?
No, I don't talk to my mom about anything really. She doesn't receive information very well. She receives it through like a filter of what she believes, and if she doesn't believe it, it's just rejected on the spot. So I stopped telling her things.
And your mom loved you, just want to let you know that.
I know.
Okay. For this entire thing.
Me and my mom are just two very, very different people. She likes to cry her way through everything, and I literally don't cry through anything. So, I'm sure she cried her way through the entire interview or whatever.
She held it together. I'm sure she cried when I left, but she held it together. You know, the whole time your mom wanted you to be safe, wanted you to, you know, everything a mom would want to happen, but she also understood that the stakes were high. You know, what about your relationship with your stepdad? If you even consider him that, but
I don't really care about him. He's a cool dude. He's not a piece of shit. He doesn't beat my mom. He doesn't do drugs. So, other than that, he's like nobody to me. He got there too late to do anything that would make a difference for him. Whatever. I didn't even try to make him feel that gap. It's like I was already an adult by the time he got there, so he's cool. I mean, he gets on my nerves sometimes, like, because he mouths off. I don't think he realizes, like, sometimes he says things that'll just piss me off. Like, I kind of have, like, a snap on people type of personality. I've let him get away with it up until, like, the time that I got kicked out, where, like, I really just kicked myself out. I was like, that can't happen.
yeah, you guys got each other's face.
Yeah, I squared up with him. I was like, shit. Because he was being a smart ass to my little brother. So I was like, yeah, no. I was like, you can fight me right now. I'm done with your bullshit, your smart ass comments and shit. So I just got in his face and put my fists up. And my grandma and my mom were like, no. I was like backed away, man, packed my shit, and left. That's the only time that like anything like that's ever happened.
This is a weird question, man. I throw it out there, regardless. Going back as far as you can think, and sort of in that one timeline, do you think you'd be doing things different if you could, or is this how you want to be no matter what? And I'm not talking about the shooting part. I'm talking about the criminal activity.
I think I've always been kind of attracted to like criminal activity type of stuff, and drugs. I don't think I would have changed.
So even right now,
I just like always kind of been like had some weird fascination with like criminal activity and doing drugs.
did you play like GTA when you were a kid or something like that?
I mean, I did, but so was really good.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
Is it just the dopamine thing?
I think so. Yeah.
That rush?
Yeah, so like especially like when I'm out stealing things from cars and stuff, like that's what like fills me up, like makes me feel good. Getting that rush, yeah, I guess is what it is.
Have you ever been confronted? Just curious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What
I've
happens?
been confronted multiple times. It depends on how the other person plays it. Like if they put their hands on me, I'm putting my hands back on them, and it doesn't end very well for them. But sometimes they just like try to scare me off. Most of the time, I just run. I'm not there for conflict. I'm there for whatever I can take out of your car.
Right.
So if I get confronted, I'll just run. Most of the time, if I can get away. I never had to hurt anyone doing that.
That's good.
I've even told people, like, some people, I'll be like, hey, come with me tonight, we're gonna go get some cars. They're like, oh, why don't we just I'm like, no, listen to me. You don't have to have any contact with the people at all. I was like, you hit their car, you move on. That's it. You don't have to bust the window, you don't have to
So if you bring to someone's house and they're ready, you get a shot.
Yeah,
Highlight it.
it's just taking a lot of the risk out of it. Sure, you might get a little bit more reward for a lot more risk, but you're just hitting cars, you're getting mostly reward for a little bit of risk. It's just weighing the odds.
I'm not on the code activity, honestly, but I think you're thinking about it the right way.
Most of my like actions have logic, except for the times that they don't.
That's fair.
Dude, thank you. Like, genuinely. You didn't have to sit there and tell us what happened, but you did. And we appreciate that happening for it. And I think I can speak for both of us. Like, you've earned that much more respect from us. I mean, we're coming at you, for homicide, but you're still a person,
100%.
right? And if we can help you get the treatment that you need, that's what we signed up to do. We signed up to hold people accountable for their actions, but we also signed up to help people. And if we can help you, that's what we're going to do.
When asked why he killed Michael Lohmeyer, James Neal offered a chilling explanation. He claimed he was influenced by the voices in his head and felt compelled to act. He described the shooting as a moment of fatalism, saying he was fully committed. There was no personal connection to the victim, only a random, senseless act of violence. In October 2024, Neal pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, motor vehicle theft, and possession of a weapon by a previous offender. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison, 48 years for the murder, and 6 years each for the other 2 charges, all to be served consecutively. Michael Lohmeyer was a 73-year-old man from Sentinel, Colorado. He was known for his love of photography and often spent time capturing the beauty of his surroundings. Friends described him as a gentle soul who enjoyed solitude and had a deep appreciation for nature. His untimely death leaves a void in the lives of those who knew him.